I want to start out with a little story. The story goes like this. This is originally from Pravda, recirculated by a consulting group called Adviseman, and picked up by my wife, Janet, and sent to me because she said, this is right in your wheelhouse. This is the kind of thing you do, and she's right. And the story goes like this. A Russian reptile was hurt and vomited for several hours after it was crushed by an overweight accountant during an accident on a circus bus. That's right. And this is according to Pravda. When the bus hit, or its successor, I can't recall the name right now, when the bus hit a pothole, the 264-pound accountant went flying and landed on top of the 6.5-foot Crocodile, as reported by RIA Novosti. That's who it was. Okay, the Crocodile, whose name was Fyodor, not Theodore, but Fyodor, like Fyodor Dostoevsky. The crocodile got sick after the unexpected slam and threw up for 3 hours. A medical examination of the animal revealed that he had not suffered internal injuries, but he was held out of his next performance, as reported by Komsomolskaya Pravda. Okay, that's where Pravda comes in. Pravda means truth in Russian, as you know, and I'm sure this is the truth. Circus officials expect that Fyodor will be able to return to performing by the weekend. Now, Fyodor was reportedly experiencing shock symptoms, as was the Soviet circus accountant who fell on him. The accountant also suffered cuts and bruises, which Fyodor presumably did not. An official reprimand was issued to the accountant, and she was advised to lose weight. This is quote-unquote advised to lose weight and quote-unquote to observe safety precautions by wearing her seatbelt in the future. Okay, and Janet, my wife, sent this to me, which I'll have a thought about at the end, about how we can get more stories like this. She sent this to me and was wondering what I might do with it, what the meaning of this story would be to the 0 hour. And I can tell you precisely what it is. That's easy. The Russian reptile is a metaphor, in my mind, for the United States economy. The overweight accountant is what else but our bloated, too big to fail banks. Our banks do not observe safety precautions. They are too large. They are out of control. They are irresponsible, even though they're supposed to be the model of irresponsibility. Now, we are in an extended depression. It's called a recession, but which is officially ended or not, depending on how you look at it from a technical point of view. But for millions of Americans, it's an ongoing depression. We're in that 3-hour period of throwing up that poor Fyodor experienced. Now, what does that mean? Now, how does this tale differ from the United States economic experience after the financial crisis caused by our overweighted and bloated banking system? I'll tell you. The accountant was advised to lose weight and observe safety precautions. We've done far too little of that with our United States banks. We have not done anything about the too big to fail problem. In fact, our banks are bigger than they ever were, so they're more bloated than ever. They're going to hurt the next crocodile even more than they hurt the last one, nor have they really been asked to observe safety precautions. Some modest and reasonable restraints were put into place as a result of the Dodd-Frank bill, but it's not nearly enough. So would that our economy was managed as responsibly as a Soviet circus. That is the moral of the story of Fyodor the Crocodile and the Overweight Accountant. Now, what I want to propose to you, listeners of the 0 Hour and subscribers, we got a lot of you during our first weekend. Here's my suggestion to you, and to YouTube listeners and to audio broadcast listeners everywhere out there. Here's my suggestion. Send us a story at thisisthezerohour.com. In fact, you can send it, let's see, we'll get you an address by the end of the day, but come to the website and we'll announce something. Come to the YouTube page and we'll announce something. We will give a prize. I'll think of a good prize, maybe a subscription to The Onion or something. We will give a prize to anyone who sends a story as good as Fyodor the Crocodile. And of course, I had Jeff the Talking Mongoose and another true life, a news story. If you send us a news story that is metaphorical and powerful like this one, I mean, Janet gets nothing, but except my hearty thanks. But listeners who give us a story, this was Janet's idea, listeners who give us a story will get a prize from the 0 Hour. That is our promise to you. In the meantime, our word to Wall Street and the banks of America is lose some weight and observe reasonable safety procedures. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for Fyodor the Crocodile.